Welcome. Today we're talking about parallelograms. Now the definition of a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two sets of parallel sides. You see in this picture we have our actual markings that say side AB is parallel to side CD and side BC is parallel to side AD. So this is a parallelogram. Here we have a very similar picture, but there's nothing telling us the sides are parallel. So this we cannot say is a parallelogram. In this picture we have one set of parallel sides, but the other one probably not parallel, so this is not a parallelogram. In this picture we see on the coordinate plane that the opposite sides have the same slopes, and if their slopes are the same, then they are parallel, so that is a parallelogram. Now what can we do with this idea that there are two sets of parallel sides? Here's a parallelogram. Let's focus just on the left and the right side that are parallel. And let's look at the top side and consider that a transversal. Now remember, when two parallel lines are crossed by a transversal, the consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Now, what if we looked at the top and the bottom as our parallel lines and the right side as a transversal? We still have parallel lines being crossed by a transversal, so the consecutive interior angles are still supplementary. And we can do that if we look at the left side as a transversal also. And then we've filled in all of our angles, marking all of the supplementary angles. But there's more we can do with that. Now that you see all these markings, notice that the opposite angles are congruent. That can help us find missing angles. Here we have a parallelogram with just one angle marked as 35 degrees in the bottom left corner. Let's remember our properties of parallelograms and use that to find our missing angles. Let's start with the first one. Opposite angles are congruent. So if I look at my 35 and my y, I know they're congruent, so 35 degrees must equal y. Now let's look at the second property, the property that consecutive interior angles are supplementary. And let's focus on the 35 and the x just above it. We know they're supplementary, so 35 degrees plus x equals 180 degrees. Subtract 35 degrees from both sides, and we're left with x equals 145. So that x angle must be 145 degrees. Then there are a couple of different ways you could find angle z. You could look at the consecutive interior angles again, or you could look at the opposite angles again. Either way, you should find that z equals 145 degrees. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.